which were Israelites.
Oh, and some, those Romans, like Elder Tahar broke down, that wasn't the wrong, because the scholars will probably say this, and a lot of you will probably say, yes, those are them Edomite Romans. That was Japheth at that time, but when Esau came in, when them Edomites, the Greeks, and other Edomites started taking over everything, the Greeks took over everything, man, but then the Romans came into power. That was when Esau came in there, and they pushed out the Japhetic people that was in there, and they moved in and pretty much took over their customs with the Senate and the Rome. Because Esau, they took over, but they set everything up as if they were the Romans. There's a scripture on that, man. They take everything and make it as if it was theirs. That's what they did. So the Roman Senate that they're talking about, that's not the same Edomites that was moving.
Japheth, those are sons of Japheth.
Yep. But when the Greeks took over everything, and then eventually Esau went up into Rome and pushed the real Romans out, meaning the Japhetic people. They moved in, set up shop, and just took it over as their own.
That's why you got certain scholars saying that or black scholars or Hebrew scholars that say that the white men are the sons of Japheth. They're not the sons of Japheth.
Oh.
They occupied the land of Japheth, which are the dark-skinned Hawaiian, Samoan, South Pacific type.
What proves that is you have a group of Japhetic people that used to dwell in the islands of the Mediterranean Sea. They were known as the Minoans. Now, when you look at the picture of the Minoans, you can see that they look just like the Samoans, like the Hawaiians, you know, like the Tongans. You know, they look just like them. They had the tattoos all over their bodies, just like the Tongans and them do. You know. So that just goes to show that those are the real Japhites, that the so-called white man, when he came into power, pushed out. Now, this is in the same chapter, 1 Maccabees 12 and 18. It says, 19, and this is a copy of the letters which Onias sent. Arius, king of the Lacedaemonians, which are Spartans, to Onias the high priest, greeting. It is found in writing, so this was actually written about in the historical records of Israel. It is found in writing that the Lacedaemonians and the Jews are brethren. Oh. And that they are of the stock of Abraham. So those Spartans were Israelites. You know, they were of the seed of Abraham, because the chosen line was Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So they came through Abraham's line, and they were Israelites, because they were brothers. You know, brethren, kin. You know. So there's a lot of history out there that hasn't been touched on, you know, that's been left in the dust. And some of these guys that make these movies, they know about this history, but they can't put it out.
Oh no, they know it, man.
Yeah, they can't put it out because...
See, what you Kemetic dudes think you know, the white man knows everything, man.
Yeah, that's right.
You know?
He got one up on y'all, man.
Yep.
That so-called Egyptology that you study, where do you think you got it from, man? Where do you think... Dr. Yosef Ben Yaakov got it from, and Yosef Ben Yaakov is a Hebrew name. Why would he call himself a Kemet or a so-called African, you know, and he has a Hebrew name?
Yeah.
Joseph Ben Yaakov.
Them guys are off, man. Well, you know, a lot of them guys are part of the Boule Society anyway. They're set up, a lot of those so-called leaders like this guy, Dr. Leonard Jeffries, which I met that nigga years ago.
Oh yeah, I ran into him. I talked to him. I sat next to him in the auditorium when they had a thing on BET. I was sitting right next to that guy, man.
Out there, I met him at the African Street Festival about 12, 13 years ago, and that nigga think he's a celebrity. Just tell them Dr. Jeffries said so.
Yeah, I mean, he was cool. He was a cool brother, you know.
But the dude's cocky, but a lot of them guys are set up by Esau to push them lies on you so-called Negroes and the other tribes to keep you blinded, man. They're part of that secret society, which is an offshoot of the so-called Masons, called the Boule Society, which is a so-called black inner circle Masonic group. Martin Luther King was a member of that.
Yeah, the Black Skull and Bones.
The Black Skull and Bones.
Yeah, let me say this to you Kemetic brothers out there. You always pushing that stuff. How can the Hebrews eat their? How can you Hebrews eat your own babies? And then you quote. You don't actually give the direct quote, but you're quoting out of Deuteronomy 28, Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, It's also found in, I believe, one of the books of Kings, and it's found in the Apocrypha about the account of cannibalism. All right? My question is this. I'll give you the answer. I'll give you the answer. That's an easy thing to answer. But my question to you is this. Answer me this. What time did that take place? What time did the cannibalism take place that's mentioned in Deuteronomy 28? If you can tell me that, I'll tell you why it happened. Anyway, let me read this. Reading on, Acts 17:21. For all the Athenians and strangers which were there spent their time in nothing else, and that's you brothers to a T, but either to tell or to hear some new thing.
Yep, that's it. It's basically just like when rappers are battling each other. That's all you guys are doing. You just battling each other with different types of wisdoms out there.
To see who sounds the night. That other Tahar, we were watching the Lean. He's another one. You Moors, the Aziza Moors. You guys, it's all about putting together ice cream on top. Sugar.
Well, you know what they do? They get a lot of information from various sources, and they just mix them all together.
That's
They
right.
storm at people, and you people that are not schooled and wise, you're not sophisticated enough to decipher that madness. You suck it all in because they make it sound good, you know.
Yeah. Hey, others, you know what they're doing? A Lean and all you guys putting ice cream on top of shit. With a cherry on top.
That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. Yep.
And it's ice cream, brother. This ain't shit.
Yep.
That's all you guys are doing, man.
Yep, that's right. Now it says in the 22nd verse of the same chapter, Acts 17. Then Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hill, which is
Harlem.
which is Harlem.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
And that's Mars Hill.
Yeah.
Which was formerly in Athens, Greece, Areopagus. All right? It says, then Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hill, Areopagus, and said, ye men of Athens. He was talking to Israelites that didn't know that they were Israelites. I perceive that in all things ye are too superstitious. And then it says, 23rd verse, for as I passed by and beheld your devotion, I found an altar. Remember earlier he said that the city was wholly filled with idols, right?
Right.
So there was this one idol or one placard or altar. It says, I found an altar with this inscription, to the unknown God, whom therefore ye ignorantly worship him, declare I unto you. Now what did Paul say to this? Because you had two knuckleheads that went back to Nate. They used to be down with Foy, which is the future world of Israel. Two brothers, look like twins. They had ran back with their tails between their legs to Nate to join back with Nate.
Yeah.
Oh, he was great.
And they had a little debate with the GMS brothers down there in, what's that, Virginia? Richmond, Virginia. You know the brother, that brother, that's a talented brother. He does cooking shows. He does all that, man, you know. And that brother right there, I forget his name, man. Forgive me. I forget his name. But he even said he started with Nate.
Yeah.
Then when he heard us, he said, nah, man, I'm going with GMS. You know?
Yeah.
But anyway, he was kind of debating with you guys from the future world of Israel. And one of the twin brothers had brought out this scripture and saying, see, we don't know the name of the Most High. You dummy, it ain't talking about that, okay? But you don't know, you haven't been taught. I'm going to read it again with understanding. I'm going to break it down to you.
That goes back to Nate.
That's right. And Nate, you have you're not, like Lahab said, you're not qualified to philosophize.
Yeah, that's right.
All right?
Right.
I was there when he said it, brother. I was right there when Lahab said that. Lahab should know because he ain't qualified to philosophize either. But anyway, Acts 17:23. This is a very important verse It says, for as I passed, this is Paul speaking, the Apostle Paul, for as I passed by and beheld your devotions, I found an altar with this inscription, to the unknown God. The unknown God is talking about the Most High. Whom therefore ye ignorantly worship, him declare I unto you. So they knew that there was a God, but they didn't know his name.
Right.
Mhm.
Huh? Yeah, it's like they don't know the Lord.